Let me shake this off a little. It's cold here. It's so cold where I am.
It's cold here too, and I get really sleepy when it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's 20 degrees here.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
what
gonna
cold
say-
is for you, but it's not.
I'm at a solid 22 right now.
Oh, it's 42 over here, so I guess I'm
Cold.
just...
Yeah, so cold, dude.
Yes.
Oh my god, guys. All right.
I live in the south.
Well,
It should not be 35 here.
That's wild.
No.
Like,
That's
south.
right. Oh my god. Okay, you get me. All right. Anyway, welcome everyone to the 15th episode of the Nintendo Roundtable podcast. Yay! Woo! It seems like a significant number. I don't know. So, since the last episode, and now that we're in November, I think it's safe to say that this is a whole new world we're living in. I mean, we've practically been given, we're practically being given a whole new way to see. And I guess you could even say that this is just like a whole new place with a brand new attitude, you know? And anyway, at the end of the day, we still got to catch them all and be the best that we can be in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, anyway, we've been waiting for what feels like ages for these new games to come out. And as of 2 days ago, they finally are. It's two, right?
I think
Two
it's
days,
two.
right?
Yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah, it'd be two.
Yeah, okay. 2. Okay, I know how to do my math. And to help me talk about them, I've been brought on some of the biggest Pokemon fans I know, including quite a few new faces this time around. So, before we dive into today's discussion, I want us all to take one moment to introduce some of the new voices you'll be hearing this month. Starting with you, Elliot. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Let our listeners know.
Hello, my name is Elliot. I am a longtime Pokemon fan, as I'm sure everyone here is. I've been a content creator on YouTube and now also on Twitch for the better half of my life, to be honest, at this point. And I've been doing Pokemon content primarily for the last pretty much decade at this point. So, on Twitch, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, doing lots of challenges. I recently did this really hard challenge called Kaizo Ironmon, which has a bunch of different rules made by I Eat Your Pie. A really, really, really crazy challenge. But I've also done like Nuzlocke challenges, and I've also been shiny hunting a lot, especially with Scarlet and Violet. It's been shiny hunting for me for the last few days, and I've been getting some shinies and also not getting shinies. But it's been a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to play more.
What's your official count on Fuecoco at the moment?
Oh yeah, I'm doing Masuda method for Fuecoco. I'm doing Fuecoco eggs because, you know, you can't stop reset for them since they're shiny locked, but you can get them through eggs.
Right.
And I'm at 1,025 eggs so far with no Fuecoco.
1,025 gators. Just thrown out the box and counting. He's not even there yet, so it's not even the final count yet. Oh my god. All right, GLOWL, who are you? What do you do?
Hey, what's up? My name's Austin, better known as GLOWL. I've been streaming since about 2019-ish, I guess, early 2019, Sword and Shield time. Yeah, I do a lot of Pokemon stuff, as we all do, I think. But yeah, I don't know, I like to do some shiny hunting. Plan on getting started into some VGC here soonish, I guess, after I beat the games, which is going to take probably a while because I've barely done anything so far, but I've been playing for so long. Yeah, I don't know, shiny hunting, Pokemon content, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's about it.
Sick. I didn't know you started in 2019. You're a baby.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I'm a little guy.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for joining. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you tell? Jesus Christ, I hope my voice lives through this podcast. Anyway, Sam and Amanda, you guys have been here before, but everyone else is doing it. So, Sam, who are you? What do you do?
I'm NintendoFanGirl, or Sam, and I'm a Nintendo content creator and brand ambassador, and I love Pokemon. That's it.
Sick. Have you ever thought about saying, like, hi, I'm Nintendo Fangirl, and I like to do a lot of Halo content on the internet?
I haven't thought of that, but maybe next time.
Maybe next
That's
time.
how I'll
Okay.
introduce myself.
Check in next time. We'll see. Amanda, who are you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Amanda, and I stream on Twitch, but I'm also the host of Zelda Weekly at Zelda Universe, and I just show up at a whole lot of events and talk about Zelda, but I also really, really, really love Pokemon.
Yes. And your cats, who are very, very cute.
My cats are so sweet.
Oh, I love them. Last but not least, Twin! Twin, who are
Hi.
you? What do you do?
to win.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Miranda. I also go by SaltQueen, and I'm relatively new to streaming. I started back in 2019. I primarily do Pokemon content, but I also do other Nintendo content like Mario and Zelda and Animal Crossing. But I mainly do shiny hunting. I also like doing challenge runs, Nuzlocks. I want to start getting into VGC, so hopefully
Oh,
we'll learn that
snap.
soon. And also learning speedrunning as well. Yeah,
Ooh.
I want to do it all. Yeah, I want to.
I love everything.
I like challenging myself, so I want to try some new things with these Pokemon
Holy.
games. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
That is really cool. Okay, before we move on, I am so happy that you're here because this is like a little side story, but I've known you, I think, since 2019, right? And I'm pretty
Yes.
sure we met around the time that you started streaming as well. And or maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But
No,
I always
we did. It was during
Okay.
the 3D All Stars.
Yep, I was gonna say
Yeah.
that. Like, I did a whole Mario-thon event on my stream during that, and you came in during the Mario Galaxy set when we started talking about Mario Galaxy, and like, ever since then, that's been like one of my most favorite things I've done on stream, and I always think about how I met you during that. Like,
Aw.
in addition to everything else cool that happened during that event. But it's so cool to have you on here finally. So thank you for joining us, and everyone else on the podcast, welcome. Thank you. All right, cool. So Pokemon, right? God, I'm all over the place. So obviously, there's a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to the new games, right? So we're going to start off with the first question every single game has been asking us for 9 generations now. Do you guys know what that is? Huh? Yes? No?
Which
Maybe?
Are you
Which
a boy or a
game?
girl?
Oh, that one.
Nope. I will fill you in, actually. Which starter did you pick? And
Oh,
why?
right. That's a good
And
question.
I'm going to go ahead and let SaltQueen lead us off here. Which starter did you pick and why?
Oh, so I picked Quaxley, and ever since they revealed from the first reveal, I was like, yes, I want you, because it kind of like gave me like Piplup vibes, and like Piplup is my favorite starter of all time. So like any
Yeah.
water bird is just like, yes, I want you. So that was my pick, and I'm so happy. And I reset until I got a female, and she is adorable, and I love her.
Did you name her something special?
I did. I named her Daisy because I'm a big Disney fan, and I was either going to do Donald or Daisy, but Donald seemed kind of basic. I was like, yeah, Donald Duck. Yeah. I thought Daisy would be cute.
I don't know if you know this, SaltQueen, but you're in the presence of like 3 other really big Disney fans right now. So
Hello.
that your
It's true.
reference is understood and acknowledged.
Yes. Okay, good.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have my little Quaxley plush sitting right next to me while we're recording. So
Aw, I'm
Team
getting mine
Quaxley!
soon. I got all 3 of them.
all 3? Oh, like the
Yes.
holiday one?
No, just the normal ones. I'm tempted to get the holiday one, but it's like, I think I'm
Oh
good
my
with
God.
one. I have too many plushies.
Yeah, for
such
now I
thing
have
as
the
too
little
many
keychain.
plushies.
Yeah,
one.
you,
That
you
is
cannot
true.
have too many.
My bed says otherwise. It's just, there's no more space now.
Yeah, it
Same.
reminds me of Amanda's stream room. Like if you look back there, there's just a bunch of like plushies.
You make
and
room.
Squish.
And that's
Yeah.
only a
Squishmallows
handful
is
of
the
Shop
other
at
plushies.
this
one.
point.
Just wait till the Pikachu Squishmallow comes out and all the
Oh
other
my
ones.
god,
Oh, I got that. It is so adorable.
the Squishmallow
I'm
already
jealous.
is out?
Oh, yeah, they sent it to me.
Oh, lucky.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jealous. Amanda. Oh, speaking of Amanda, right? Which starter did you pick and why?
So I have never had such a hard time choosing a starter before, but like usually I'm just like, as soon as I see the starters, I'm going, okay, I know which one I'm going with. Like from the moment of like trying to pick it, it took me forever, but I went with Fuecoco mainly because it's usually hard to find like a good fire type within the game. There's usually less fire types. I wasn't sure like what the dex was going to be for this one. So that was my main reason. And also he's so funny and he's so cute. And then like when we were running at the very beginning, he stayed like right by my side the whole time, whereas the other 2
Aw.
Pokemon just kind of ran off in their own directions. I was like, well, I guess I'm going with Fuecoco here.
It was fate. It was fate that decided for you.
Yep.
I like that he's like, I don't know where I heard this from, but I've just always associated his shape with like a Happy Meal box. So
Oh my
that's how I've been
God.
seeing him this whole time.
That's
It's just like a
hilarious.
little
Because he does
walking
have the
Happy
same
Meal.
colors.
It's got the same colors and everything. I think I already know the answer to this, Sam, but which starter did you pick and why for everyone else?
Well, I was very torn on a starter, and I refused to pick one until I saw the evolution lines. And then once I did, I went with Sprigatito.
Really?
And I named it Spriggy Stardust.
Did you have enough space for that?
I just replaced the star with the symbol.
Smart.
Ooh, that's a smart idea. Yeah. That's a A+ reference if you ask me. So, without giving like too much away to people listening that are like obviously, sensitive about spoilers and stuff, what was it about the other two that made you pick Sprigatito's evolution? Because I know you were saying otherwise leading up to it, but what made you change your mind?
I think, here, I'll say it spoiler free. I think one is not that exciting, and the other one has toes, and I didn't want it to.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, joke's on you. That's my favorite aspect. So
Good. Good. I'm happy for you.
At least one of us is happy. What about you, GLOWL? What did you pick? Which starter?
Don't get
and
me
why?
wrong, they're all amazing, but as soon as they revealed the starters, I could not stop thinking about that goofy little duck, Quaxley. He's just too good. He's just too good. He's just too good. The other two are great, sure, but it's just a goofy duck, and you can't pick anything else.
He's got a little hat or hair. I
Yes,
don't know if
exactly.
I
but
love
he's got
it. Okay.
sass.
So for my Quaxley owners in the call, did you guys? This is not a spoiler for anybody listening as well. Did you guys know that whenever you're battling in water with a Quaxley, he does like a little duck float and he pads his feet in it?
I didn't know.
I saw that.
I did not know that. What?
He has a
Oh my
little
God,
swimming animation. It's
It's
adorable.
so cute.
Oh, I gotta test that.
Yeah, you gotta
did not
test it and
know.
tell me how you think. It's so. Oh, I was like perma-stunned the other day, just streaming and watching him
It's so
swim in the
cute.
water. It was awesome. Anyway, Team Quaxley, heck yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Handsome Elliot. What'd you pick? Which starter and why?
Gosh, call me handsome, get me all buttered up. See, I've never been in a just environment with so many other Duck fans. I'm so happy to be in a call with so many Quaxley fans because I am hardcore all in on the Duck. I've been all in on the Duck since day freaking one. I saw all three of them and I was like, look at the little goof. I love him. He is so cute, but all three of them are so adorable. And I didn't know anything about any of the evolutions going into the game, so I was like very nervous. But I'm like, I'm adamant about this. And I gotta say, it took some getting used to. But I like him, and he's still my favorite. Sprigatito, though, has definitely grown in my ranks. I will say that without spoiling anything. And for Coco, will grow in my ranks too once he shines. I'm still waiting for him to shine, but
Yeah, well, stay tuned for that one.
But yes, I love the
Send you
dog.
my luck, Elliot.
Thank you, Salt.
Seriously.
I got you.
By our powers combined.
Shiny queen, to be honest.
Jeez, right. Got to rebrand here. You got all three, and that's like not the only ones. Oh my god. Okay.
No, it's
anyway.
not.
I know your luck is insane. All right. Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, and we've established the only correct answer is Quaxley. Sorry,
there you
everybody
go.
else. I do like all three of them, though. I just can't resist the little ducky boy. But I can't help but feel like, this is a little bit of a side rant, but I can't help but feel like Sprigatito is going to end up being the most popular. I mean, like, probably, right?
I think so too.
I think so.
I also agree
I don't
with
know.
that. Yeah.
I would have
I think-
thought so, but Splatfest, which I realized wasn't just the current starters, but it went very heavily water.
Well, also Big Man
Yeah,
was,
as a Team Grass
was
member.
like representing water, so I think that's probably why most people went with water.
At the end of
I
the
don't
day,
know,
water
'cause
starters are the
sugar.
most they are the most popular in terms of like you got Greninja and that kind of stuff. But I guess you also have Charizard.
Yeah.
and Charizard's also really popular. So
I
don't
went
know.
with water with like pretty much every previous game. I think this was one of the only. I think the only other time I didn't choose a water type was like when I did the remake of Ruby and Sapphire, so not the original Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and I went with Trico just because I wanted to see what that was like.
yeah, I feel like I was talking about this on Stream Ash earlier. I feel like this game really broke the trend of I'm always a grass starter, I'm always a water starter, I'm always a fire starter.
Yeah.
Like, this game for I think every single one of those fans. Like if you're typically like a water guy, you may have gone for Sprigatito. If you're typically a grass person, you may have gone for Coco, and like vice versa. So it's like
Yeah.
really interesting. Like this game really made people think rather than like their comfort type. you know?
Yep.
What? I don't. Do I have a comfort type? I'm not sure. I haven't
Yeah,
really.
I
thought about
don't.
that.
So like
I don't feel like
know.
I do.
I
This game
feel like
was
I always
easy
pick
for
the
me.
grass ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
always
I've
been
chosen
like big
duck.
on water.
Like my
What?
favorite.
Is this a thing?
Not for me, because in my head I thought I was like more of a water person, and I looked back at all of the ones and I realized like no, I pretty evenly jump between all of them.
Yes, I am.
Huh.
Yeah, looking back,
Weird.
I think I mainly go for fire, sometimes water. I don't think I've ever picked a grass starter. Like
Wow.
replaying like Fire Red, like any of the Kanto games, I'll sometimes pick Bulbasaur and that's it. I don't really use any of the other grass types. I don't know, I just like the fire.
I always go for
Who'd you pick for
whatever's
Sun and Moon?
cutest.
Sun and Moon, I picked Poplio.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna go for Litten, and then I saw Incineroar, and I was like, no, thank you.
Oh, you don't want Tony the Tiger?
Yes.
I don't want Tony the Tiger.
See, that's
Okay,
why I
Incineroar's
needed
not that
the
bad.
Take the cute
evolution.
mermaid.
It's not
thank
that
you.
bad.
Wow. So like Rowlet wasn't even a consideration in for you then.
Not really. It was cute, but I just saw Poplio's final, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. I did
Wow.
try it, though, when I did my first playthrough of Ultra Sun, because I never played it when it initially came out, because I did the first 10 minutes, and I was like, this is the same thing. I'm good.
Rowlet or bust.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Elliot, calm down. She said she
No,
played him
I
eventually.
tried him out, and I really like it, and I think if I ever replayed a Sun and Moon game, I would pick Rowlet again, so for that gen, I'll go grass.
All right, all right. That's an old reference. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god. All right. Anyway, let's talk first impressions. Now, I'm sure that a lot of us are at varying different points in this game's story at the moment. So, leading into this next point, I would just ask that when answering this, do your best to remain spoiler-free for those listening at home. All right? So, GLOWL, I want to hear from
Hey.
you. Give us your very first impressions on the game so far. What's been some of your favorite aspects, least favorite aspects of the game, if any, and what all have you done so far?
All right. So, despite the obvious things that, have been the talk lately, I think this might be one of the best Pokemon games. There's so much to explore. You get lost so easily, but I almost think that's a good thing. You can spend, like I said, I've only just beat the second gym, I think, and I'm almost like 20 hours into it. Like, there's just so much to do.
Mood.
And I think just like continuing the game, I don't think that any of the stuff that would bother some others hasn't bothered me at all yet. And I understand like the complaints and stuff, but it hasn't changed my experience at all. I love it.
Great. That's great. Elliot, what about you?
So, this game is really, really fun, despite many of the flaws it may have. And it's kind of crazy because, like, if this was like any other game, I'd be like, wow, like, why is this game so bad with frame rate issues and so many of these bugs? And, like, usually it would deter me away. But, like, I don't know, man. I just, like, I keep on going back. I keep on going to the wild areas. And, like, I keep on just catching Pokemon, picking up items, like, doing raids, shiny hunting. Like, I have spent so many hours on this game already throughout so many different profiles. And I have both Scarlet and Violet. And I am in love with this game. It is so much fun. It took a lot of implements of Arceus and didn't put in some of the implements. And I'm kind of happy they didn't, because I liked that Arceus was like a little bit more unique in terms of the setting of the game, where it was a little bit more dark. Like the whole Pokemon fighting you and that kind of stuff was like really cool. I know people are like disappointed that aspect isn't in this game, but like I'm okay with that, because I think the setting was just very different. Like you were like kind of not supposed to be in that world, and Pokemon and humans were not, intertwined or whatever. But then in this game, it's like they are, and it's not that setting. And this feels like an actual open world experience, and I just love that you can kind of go between 3 stories, but you can do all 3 if you want. You can only do 1. Like, you don't have to do any of them if you didn't want to. You could just explore. If you don't care about the story and you just kind of want to go find Pokemon, you could just live off of, items on the ground for the rest of your life. And I don't know, just building your own story has been so fun, and I've been really enjoying it. And obviously, playing with friends only boosts that. This game, I can spend so many hours and then look at the time and be like, why is it this time? What happened? Where's my day? Where did my day go?
What the heck?
So yeah,
It's 6 a.m.
it's been so much fun. I'm so addicted. I can't wait to play more.
Oh, that's such a great point, like the multiplayer has really just kind of blown my mind at how good it is. Oh my god.
Yeah, like, it doesn't even deter the frame rate that badly either. Like I was expecting it to be a little bit worse, but like whenever my friend moves, they move, and like whenever I move, I move. Like it's like actually pretty good. I'm like kind of shocked.
And I was like leading into this generation. We've had a couple of other podcasts talking about this game before, but leading up to it, I was kind of under the impression like, okay, we're gonna be able to do like multiplayer, but like what? You know, like if I go into a battle, am I the only one that can encounter Pokemon? Oh, great. I'm not gonna be able to do like story stuff. I'm gonna be locked here or whatever. But you can do like whatever you want. And it's so cool. You don't even have to be in the same area, which is insane. You could be across the entire map and it'll still be a multiplayer session, which is so cool.
I was shocked that like people can progress in their story in like your lobby. I was like, huh? That's so cool.
Yeah, well, that's another important thing to note too. I mean, again, this is very spoiler free, obviously, but it doesn't matter. Like if I'm in the late game and you're just starting the game, we can both progress our stories in the same multiplayer lobby and still do raid dens together and still catch Pokemon together and still ride around, and maybe I can help my friend progress their story and like travel along with them. It's so just free to do whatever you want, and I am so very, very happy.
Want to enjoy my picnic?
Yeah. You bring in sandwiches?
Oh, I'll bring all the sandwiches, buddy.
You got the banana peanut butter sandwiches, I bet, huh?
Oh, I got the apple cheese and banana special, dude. With a nice little silver pick on top. I got you.
Oh man, I don't know if the picks do anything, but I've heard bananas are OP or something for
the
fruits effects that they give you.
The fruits do be making the Pokemon feel a certain type of way.
I think it's good we leave it at that. I'm fine with leaving it there. But that's good. Your impressions are kind of the same with mine, where I feel like these are some of the most fun I've had in a Pokemon game in quite a long time, to be honest. And I'm not sure if it's because of the fact that the Pokemon designs themselves are so good, or if it is the satisfaction of seeing my own culture finally represented in this way in a Pokemon game. But I gotta tell you, these games are just so good. Obviously, there's only so much I can say without spoiling certain story elements, but the open world design of these games feel just like, it feels so much bigger and more appealing than it ever did, really, in Sword and Shield's like wild area, or even in Legends Arceus's regions. I don't think they ever had an official name, but there's just so much more to do, you know, in terms of scope, and
like
more things
seamless.
to do across the world. Yeah, and it's traveling from point A to point B is a lot more seamless, like you said, with very minimal, if any, loading screens to speak of. I don't really think I can even think of an instance where that happened. But that being said, it does feel great, as all these things are. It just feel. Let me rephrase. That being said, as great as all of these things are, it does feel as if, in some respects, Game Freak and Pokemon Company are punching just a tad bit above their weight class as far as execution goes. But I digress. So, how about you, Sam? What are your first impressions? What are you liking? What are you not liking?
First impressions are overwhelmingly positive. I'll go back in time and say that I really, really liked Legends Arceus, and so I was feeling like refreshed. I was ready to like start a new real Pokemon game, mainline Pokemon game, with fresh eyes, and so I think there was very little chance that I would be disappointed as it was, but it's just been fun. Like you guys have said, it's just been enjoyable. I haven't even touched the multiplayer yet. I'm 3 gyms in at this point. I'm 30 hours in.
Wow. You are taking your sweet time, and I like that.
I've been doing a lot of like playing while watching Better Call Saul or whatever. So it's actually a really good game for that, except when you miss a shiny that you didn't realize that you opened. But
dang, Silicobra.
Anyway, it's just been fun. I would say I have noticed some of the bugs, and I had my game crash when I went to enter a gym, which was really sad. Which, thank goodness, I didn't turn off autosave because I hadn't saved in 6 hours. So that's my PSA: is if you have autosave off, remember to save frequently. And I feel like I do feel like this game could have waited. We just had a Pokemon game this year, and it has not been that long since the mainline Pokemon game before that, and I think the polish would have done it well, but even despite that, it's the most fun I've had in a mainline Pokemon game since, God, I don't even know, 10 plus years at least. So
Dang.
I'm happy.
10 plus?
yeah, I'm trying to think of what my favorite would be before this, and I don't know. It's not
Man.
probably, I don't know. It's too early for me to make the determination that it's like my favorite Pokemon game for sure. But
yeah, you gotta let it sizzle.
yeah. But I'm enjoying it a lot.
That's good. That's good. SaltQueen, what do you think? Hold on, before I progress, do you prefer being called SaltQueen, or like, is there a name that you prefer me to call you for the rest of this cast?
No, SaltQueen's fine. You can say Salt if you want.
All right, Salt. Let's hear it. What do you think?
All right,
First impressions.
so-
Positives and negatives.
Okay, positives. Oof, that's a long list because honestly, these might be my like. I've only played through the beginning of the game. I've been busy just shiny hunting, but these might be my like all-time favorite Pokemon games. Just with the amount that there is to do, like I think it just like I don't know. Like there's not only gyms. Like, we have the whole Team Star thing. We have Titans. It's like, there's just so much to do. And the map just feels like it just feels so huge compared to Legends Arceus, where I think we just had like 5 maps. I think
like-
even
like
compared to
sections.
like 6, I think. Like if you add all those, like it feels like even bigger than that. Like,
I think
it's
it
just,
is.
I think,
Gotta
yeah.
be,
Yeah,
right?
you just have like
Yeah.
different sections, which felt like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just sections, yeah.
know.
And they were like cool, but it didn't have like that, I don't know. Like I like how this game, like all like the areas just like seamlessly like transition. Like you'll be in the grass and then you'll be like in this like rocky mountain area out of nowhere, and it's just like it's just so cool. And even despite like the bugs, like I've just seen a lot of people like saying like the bugs or like the graphics like ruin the game, and I was kind of expecting it. Like I was like, oh, we're getting like an open world like mainline Pokemon game. Like, let's be real. Like, there's gonna be a couple of rough edges. Like, it's gonna be rough around the edges. Like, I'm like, why are you guys surprised? Like, hello, didn't we
I
have the
love
same?
that.
Didn't we have the same conversation in Sword and Shield? Even with Legends Arceus, like this game's ugly, and I'm just like, well. We're not really looking for graphics. Like, as a Pokemon fan, I don't care.
Yep.
I just want to catch Pokemon and run around, shiny hunt. That's
But the
all I care
tree!
about.
Yeah, don't worry about the tree.
tree. I know.
Oh my god.
How dare that tree look like the Ocarina of Time trees? Like, that's
I
just
know.
ruining
That's what
my
I
day.
play Pokemon for.
Just one single tree.
Just a single tree. But like, if you look past that, like the games are like a ton of fun, and Pokemon has never been like for the graphics. It's been for like the adventure, the Pokemon, and I think like all of like I've been in love with like most of these like new Pokemon. I'm not gonna say like not to spoil, but there are a lot of like interesting designs and a lot of like interesting type combinations I've been noticing. I'm just like, whoa, we've never had that before. That's so cool.
Like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen so many new type combinations that we've never seen and new abilities.
All
So
the
many new abilities.
abilities!
So
Oh
many
my
new,
God.
so many new signature moves. Like, this is the generation for competitive. It's about to be insane.
Oh, I'm so excited. I already know one Pokemon that I'm definitely going to be using.
Ooh.
am
Cough
so
Cough
curious.
may have to do something with my name. Cough Cough.
Oh, okay. I got you.
One up?
Like 3 of us just went,
Literally my favorite.
I
It is my
wonder.
favorite Gen 9 Pokemon. I don't want to say
It's up there for me
because
too.
it might be a
Yeah.
Right.
spoiler, but it's
It's okay.
so good.
Yeah, you don't have to. I know exactly what you're
No,
talking
yeah, yeah.
about.
If
That's
you know,
awesome.
you know. But if you don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess to your point, was this game kind of what you were expecting in all regards, or has it like kind of exceeded them in any sort of way?
Ooh, I think the graphics and like the whole like glitches, I think it was a little worse than I expected. I didn't think there were going to be so many game crashes. I think I saw, oh my God, there was this one clip I saw on Twitter where somebody was doing multiplayer and their character just grew like super
Yeah,
tall.
yeah, yeah,
I love that clip. And they were like Attack on Pokemon, like Attack on Titan. I was like, what?
I
How
want
did
that.
that happen?
I want that to happen in my game.
But like it's kind of
That's so
funny.
funny.
Like I don't know, like people are mad. I'm like, why are you
Yeah,
mad?
that is hilarious.
Like, your
That's
friend just grew
hilarious.
like 10 feet tall. That is awesome. Like
Yeah.
what?
They
That's
did bring
hilarious.
Dynamax into this game, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they brought it back. Like thank God.
It's back.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Man, I'm just thinking about all the funny videos I've seen too.
Oh, there's so many.
There's so many. And Amanda, why don't you go ahead and round us out before this next section here? What do you think? First impressions, the good and the bad. Let's
Alrighty,
hear all
so
of it.
first off, let me just tell you, Max has been rubbing her face against the microphone some, so if you've heard weird noises coming from my end, that was her.
I'm sure I'll hear that in editing.
Alrighty. So I've only gotten to play a few hours in the game because I was gone all day yesterday. But I have had so much fun with it. I started with Fuecoco, and I like that you can have them like kind of run around. I don't think it's something that happens at the beginning of the game, but the fact that you can like send your Pokemon off to like fight little lower level Pokemon while you're just running around exploring is pretty cool. And I think that's a really good like QOL improvement there because I mean I just always got so annoyed. It's like walking Zubat. It's like the amount of time it took to like load the screen took longer than it did to like would battle it. So just the fact that kind of you could still build up your Pokemon and do the battles that way without taking up pointless time. I haven't had it be too buggy. I did see like a few Azurill just kind of disappear in the water a few times, but that
Amazing.
was it. But it was so cute at one point, like Fuecoco jumped on the water and he was on a little raft, and I was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love it so much. Like I don't know, I'm just having a lot of fun with it. I know some people are being like super critical, but I'm just having a good time.
That's good. Yeah, don't let the haters impact your experience. You know, it's yours. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. Where am I leaving off here? That being said, we got to address the elephant in the room. Okay. I noticed that a couple of you were already kind of bringing it up on your own, which is fine. But I do think it's worth talking just a little bit about all of these infamous technical issues that are cropping up. And, you know, I'm sure most of us have seen videos of players either falling through floors or Jigglypuff blowing away in the wind, which is my personal favorite. So I gotta ask everyone here around the table, if you haven't already, what are your thoughts on these technical issues? And have they cropped up in your games? If so, in what way? And, you know, in total, do you feel like it's impacted your experience of the game at all? Starting with you, Sam.
Well, I already kind of talked about it, but I mostly just have visual technical issues popping up in my game. Apart from one really bad game crash when I walked into a gym. But for the most part, it's not been game impacting. Like it hasn't impacted my enjoyment at all. I would say there's been a number of scares I've had where I felt like my game was going to crash because I like was suddenly transported behind my plaid picnic tablecloth, and it looked like a giant screen of pixels, and I thought I broke it.
Uh-oh.
But it wasn't. I was just behind the tablecloth. So like there's been a lot of things like that where I'm like suddenly underground, or suddenly my camera is halfway spliced through a hill or something like that. Which doesn't look great, but it hasn't impacted my ability to play the game. So I don't feel like my complaint is too heavy in that regard. I wish it was smoother, but I'm not about to stop playing because of it. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. Elliot, as somebody who's probably streamed more of this than any of us here, what have you seen in your experience so far, and has it detracted at all?
So, yeah, I have like to be completely transparent, I probably have like 50 hours played of this game at this point, like an obscene, stupid amount of hours. Again, I love this game so much, but it definitely has a lot of issues. I will not be the guy to be like, oh my god, this game is perfect or whatever, because it's not. Doesn't mean I don't love it. It has not actually detracted me much at all, honestly, which is crazy because of how many issues it does have. In my opinion, the harmless bugs have never been a bad thing for me. Although I have glitched out of bounds twice before, where like I'm literally like not actually where like the map actually even is. Like I'm seeing like inside the map outside of the map, if that makes sense, and I can't even get back inside. Yeah, it's happened like twice to me. One in like the sandy areas and one in like the beginning of the cave. I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, to give some sort of background, I guess, on what I was able to see. So I had to like fly out of like the area completely, which was a little annoying, but it was funny, you know? And I've seen so many clips of like just the most random things happening ever, and I'm like, oh my god, like I saw like a hop just away, and whenever like, the rain was coming, it was just there's so many really funny things that happen that like make me laugh rather than be like, wow, this game sucks, you know? 'Cause it's all perspective, and everyone's valid for how they feel, but that's how I feel. In 50 hours of playing about, I don't know how many hours, maybe a little less than that, like around 50. I've only had one single game crash. And
wow.
Yeah. Everyone has different experiences. I know some people hearing this are like, wow, I've only played for like 10 hours and I've had like 5, you know? But like, the only time that my game has ever crashed was after I beat one of the gyms. I got the TM. And you know how there's like a little transition, like after you beat like the gym, and like it shows like that little like, I guess like gym path sign, like the red sign, and then it brings you back into the gym?
Yeah.
The game chugs like a lot during that time.
I noticed that. I've been waiting for like, it feels like years, and you're just like, did it?
Yeah. So that made my game crash at one point.
Oh, oof.
So I had to do the whole entire gym again.
No.
I had to get the badge again. I had to do a little dialogue again. And and the gym that I was doing had a lot of dialogue. So, yeah. But that was my one single game crash. And like, I think the most frustrating thing is that like, it's random how the game crashes. It's not consistent. Like I was watching like my friend Fire Dragon streaming earlier, and he was just buying items. And then I have nowhere I heard like his audio stop for like 5 seconds. And then I'm like, wait, did my stream freeze? And then it just ended up booting him out of the game. I'm like, oh, that was him.
Cool.
Okay. Cool game.
Yeah, didn't want those potions anyway. Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, those suck. I have heard that the reason why a lot of the frame rate issues happen is because there's like a memory leak happening. So a tip that I have for anybody listening, and just for you guys even, I'm sure you guys have heard about it, but in case you haven't, a lot of people recommend you save every couple hours. Or save a lot, actually. But like, turn your game off and then on if you're experiencing frame issues, and it should at least fix if it's really bad, the frame issues in that moment. And yeah. So yeah, turn your game off and on, and then back on, and then it should hopefully fix an obscenely bad amount of frame rate issues if you're experiencing that.
Yeah, I've noticed that for me as well. Like whenever, you know, unfortunately, when the game crashes, I'll just go ahead and talk about my experience. Just kind of like take it from here. So anyway, I've noticed that whenever my game crashes and then it boots up again, my frame rate's a little higher for a little while, and then it goes back to like, you know, that kind of what you were saying, like it chugs and you can kind of feel it a little bit, but at least it's good for a couple hours. And even then, at its worst, I don't really feel like it impacts my experience at all. But for me, I've streamed a total of nearly 25 hours of this game over the weekend so far. And in that time, I've actually seen very few issues like the ones being reported online. Not that I'm saying anything about the ones online, but those who watch can probably vouch for me on that. But the only thing I've really seen that's been a sort of anywhere near glaring issue is the crashing, actually. So I'm having almost the opposite issue of you, Elliot, where mine seems to crash pretty frequently. And I think out of the total time that I've been playing, which is more than I've been streaming, I think it's like 35. I had a total of 4 or 5. And it's annoying. It would be far more annoying, I will say, this is to Game Freak's credit, if not for the fact that the game seems to autosave relatively frequently. And not only that, but booting up the software from cold is actually very quick compared to something like, you know, Smash or Breath of the Wild or like BDSP or like any other, you know, first-party game, right? It boots up really quickly. So you don't have to be left sitting there watching a loading screen while the game boots itself up and you're sitting there wondering like, oh my God, do I have to do, like, how much do I have to do all over again? I just was buying items, man. Or like in the case of your friends. So and all in all, very minimal issues on my end. And as a result, to be honest, hasn't really impacted my experience all that much, which I'm very thankful for. But anybody else have any issues that they want to talk about before moving on to this next portion here? Yeah, no, maybe so.
Oh, I have a couple.
Oh yeah, let's
I
hear
haven't
it.
had any game crashes, but I had like a couple of just funny things happen. I need to try to say it without spoiling because it's with one of the Titans. So I'll try to say it without saying what the Titan is. So I was gonna get ready to battle it. I was like on top of a ledge and it was below and I was like, oh, it's right there. Let me just jump on top of it. So like I went like right behind it and I was kind of like on its butt and then it triggered the cutscene, turned around and then I just see it like scream and just smash the wall where I was standing. So I was like, did I just
Oh my
die?
God.
I have the
Am
exact
okay?
same thing.
I just
did
like
the
teleport
same.
to the other side of it. I'm like, okay, I'm okay. I guess I'm a god. I survived. Sure. Like, okay.
Oh my God.
You
I did the
died.
same thing. I did the
Me
same
too.
thing. And I was like, oh my God, did I just die?
So like I've had most of like just like the meme glitches, and I have had a couple with doing the picnic. Sometimes like while you have your Pokemon play soccer, so you can have like a soccer ball so they can play around, and I usually just leave it in the background while I like get eggs, and sometimes they'll like hit the ball at you and you'll like clip and like jump and it's like super weird. Like I'll just
Knocks
be
you out
like
of place, yeah.
yeah, it like knocks you out of place. And there was like one time where it landed on my legendary and he just like soared up like 6 feet in the air and then just dropped down. I was like, whoa, what the heck just happened? Like, okay, are you good? You're having too much fun there? But yeah, I haven't
Wow.
had like anything. I've been pretty careful about it, like saving often and resetting. And one of my mods actually let me know. I don't know if this is true, but apparently leaving the internet on makes the game less laggy.
Really?
On.
I feel like that's weird.
Apparently, like it fixes. It says they said it's been discovered that playing while you're connected to the internet, even if you're not playing with friends, makes the game less laggy. So
Interesting.
I
That's
can't
interesting. You'd
say
think
for
it'd be the
sure,
other way
but
around.
maybe. Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
My lagginess has not been that bad. I play in handheld mode and with the internet connected. So
Oh yeah.
It's probably the
Apparently-
optimal way to do it.
Yeah, because whenever you're docked, you'll pretty much be playing in 1280 or 1080 or whatever. But in handheld, you're playing in 720, so the game's chugging less because it's using less resources, which is very interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, it sounds like the good news anyway. It doesn't really sound like these technical issues are really
No.
impacting any of our experiences at all, at least in our personal opinion. So that's good. That's good. All right. So, given what we've seen so far, right, in terms of this game's scope as well as how it handles its execution, the next natural question that comes to my mind for you guys is, how do you feel this game compares to previous entries? Do you feel that it's going to leave a good legacy over time, and do you feel like it's going to have a sort of positive reputation as the years go on? What do you think, Sam?
I think this is dependent on how Pokemon fans decide to feel about it in the future, but there is definitely aspects like the Let's Go feature with being able to throw out your Pokemon to battle the wild Pokemon that are on the field. I think aspects like that are something that are going to be hard to even go away from in the future. So I have a feeling that this is going to have a pretty strong impact on every Pokemon game in the future. Not just that, but the open world aspect as it is. I don't know how they're going to leave an open world aspect at this point now that they've kind of opened that can of worms. So I don't know how positively people will look upon the game in the future. It's probably too early to say, but the features alone, I think, are going to stick around for generations to come, presuming that there will be more generations, which let's just assume there are.
I mean, yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Biggest media franchise in the world. What about you, Elliot? Do you think this is going to have a good, lasting impression on people?
I think that this game really sets the precedent for the future Pokemon games. Like Sam mentioned, like a lot of these things are just going to continue to be pressed on, and like they're only going to expand on it, make it better. I feel like whatever the next big Pokemon game is going to be, probably on the next Nintendo console in the future, because we're going on to the Switch for the 6th year at this point in March. So
Yeah.
when's the next Nintendo console? I mean, I'm sure
Yeah, man.
at some point it's going to be coming out. So and that console will be more powerful, and they'll be able to do more with it. And this is a really good set in the right direction. I think Arceus really set that motive in a way where like it tested their strengths and weaknesses of open world, and they really took the best implementations possible and took that. And yeah, I feel like this game's gonna have a good reputation. And one thing that I want to note about this game that I think is going to be better than like Arceus and Sword and Shield and like other games that we've had in the past few years is I think this game is going to have amazing replayability. I didn't feel like the replayability was amazing with Arceus at all. I have not wanted to start a new copy on that game ever because it was a really much a one and done story game for me where I spent 100 hours and I loved it. But starting from the beginning, I was like, meh, what am I going to do, you know? But then this game has 3 different stories and you have all this and all that. And like, there's just so much to explore and so many ways to just play the game. And then you can also start a whole entire new copy and play through a co-op copy with your friend throughout from the beginning to end. Like, there are so many ways to do it. And it's amazing. And yeah, this game, 1000%, even with the bugs, even with the frame rate issues, even with all these things being said and done, I think this game is going to be huge for Pokemon moving forward in a very positive light.
That's a glowing review. I do think I also agree with where you're coming from. I don't feel like Legends Arceus was that replayable at all. And going from that to this just feels like a huge, breath of fresh air. And I just want to play, like, this is what I've been thinking about for the past week and probably going to be like that for the rest of the year into, whenever Breath of the Wild comes out. And then I'll be thinking about that. But I'm going to be playing this for so long. It might even eclipse my hours in Sword and Shield, which is already super high. But what about you, Austin GLOWL?
Yeah, I think some of like just like what the others have spoke about, some of the quality of life features and just like new features that have been added in this game are something that hopefully, or if they do decide to improve on it, like there are things that should stay in the game. Like I think the auto battle feature, you don't have to wait 5 minutes to fight a Zubat. It's just quick. Here you go, send it out, easy, done. If the next game is very similar to this one, just runs a little bit better, I think that could be, that'd be a great step because there's not a whole lot that you need to change in this game to make it, the best game, really. I don't think it already is really fun, except for obviously some of those stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I had like when I first played through Legends Arceus, when I first walked off like the beach or whatever, I was like, dang, this like almost doesn't feel like a Pokemon game. Like it feels really new and fresh. And I had a similar feature with this one, when you walk out and you're seeing little, Fuecoco, Sprigatito, Quaxley following you around and you're just like going over here and, and then being able to play the game with your friends, the replayability, everything like that. It's great. It's really good. So yeah, I think it'll probably be looked upon pretty good, I think, other than the obvious stuff, which, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good game. I think it'll be looked upon pretty decent.
Interesting. Okay. Amanda, what do you think?
So
what's your impression?
So, I'm having a great time with it. And I like a lot of you guys were saying, I loved Legends Arceus, and it brings back a lot of the things that made that and Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu so good. Like having the Pokemon in the wild. I think Pokemon fans being Pokemon fans are going to hate on it just because it's going to be the cool thing to do. And I think it's going to be one of those that in like 12 years they're all going to be like, oh man, this game was like so innovative, it's made all these great things, because it is going to be the game to like set the precedent for future games. So yeah, it's buggy. I don't really care because it's got some really great things going for it.
Yeah. Well, good. And have we heard from you, Salt?
No.
All right, let's hear it.
Ooh, honestly, it's hard to tell like how people are gonna feel about it, because it's always like with Pokemon fans, it's like when the game comes out, they're just like, oh no, this is like Game Freak is running out of ideas, which I don't know like how that's even a thing. Like, okay, it's like just because you don't like the idea doesn't mean they're running out, but
right.
And then 10 years later, they'll be like, oh my god, this was just amazing. I think the best example of that game would be Black and White, because I used to hate that game so much, and now it's like one of my favorites.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I think these games just like took like the great aspects of like Legends Arceus, Let's Go Pikachu, Eevee, and Sword and Shield, and just like improved it. Like it has like the open world aspect, it has the Pokemon in the overworld, And I think the one thing I personally didn't like about Sword and Shield was how linear it was and how the game forced you to like, you have to go to this spot and then you go here. And I think that's with the map, because the map was like so narrow that it's like, yeah, you just have to go, like you start from the bottom and then you work your way to the top. But with this game, like you can go like right, you can basically go wherever you want. And I like that they give like the players the freedom to choose like, oh, you don't, if you want to do like all the badges first, you can do that. If you want to just do the Titans, if you want to do Team Star, if you want to just look around and just explore the new areas, you can do that too. So I think as time goes on, I think despite like the glitches, I think people are going to come to really like this game, and they will like be like the starting points for hopefully like in the future to implement even like new and better mechanics. Oh,
Yeah.
and the multiplayer, like this is like the first, I think this is like the first Pokemon game that like has like such a like massive multiplayer where you can just play the game with your friend.
Which is
we've-
the opposite
yeah.
of Arceus. Arceus is full single player, and then this game's like, please do multiplayer.
Yeah, please play with your friends. Like, like it's so cool. Like you guys can go camping together. Oh, and the sandwiches, like it's such a random thing, but I like appreciate how like helpful like the sandwiches are in the game, because like the curry and Sword and Shield, I did it once and never
Yeah.
did it again.
Yeah.
This
Like
game
I
like
just
makes you want to do it.
yeah, it makes you want to do it. Like it rewards you like for making like different recipes, and it gives you different powers, which is super cool. Like it just adds so much. And I think compared to the other Pokemon games, it has like the like most to do. Like I don't even know how many hours, definitely over 30, I think. I've like barely scratched the surface, and I feel like there's just so much left for me to do. Like it's just been amazing so far. Even the intro, like I feel like the past couple gens, like the like intros of the Pokemon games have been like such a slug to go through, like so much dialogue, like they kind of
Oh my
like
God.
hold your hand a little bit. In this game, I feel like it's like the perfect amount. It's not too much, and even when there is like dialogue and cutscenes, it's not repetitive. It's interesting. Like it's not like a bore to go through, you know. And I think that was
Yeah.
one of my complaints with Sun and Moon. There was just so much talking, and it's like, just let me go to the gym. Let me just move on and explore instead of getting
was thinking
stopped by
that.
How every 5 minutes. Like, hey, you want to battle? Like, oh gosh.
Like, no, go home. Stop following me from island to island, you weirdo. Oh my God. Yeah, I was thinking Sun and Moon exactly when you said.
Yeah, like I played those
Slow early
recently,
game.
so just switching from that to here, I'm just like, whoa, they're just like straight to the point. Like, here's what you got to do. Bye. See you later.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think this game is great, and comparatively speaking, I don't know if I'm gonna ruffle any Quaxley feathers when I say this, but I would honestly think that this game, even where it stands right now, I'm not even done with it. I think it's probably safely. It's safe to assume that this game sits somewhere within the top 5 mainline Pokemon games thus far. I mean, to me, it's no Pokemon Emerald, but I mean, it's certainly not Black and White, right? So, hey, that's something, right? But in all seriousness, no, I do feel that these games have made a strong argument for Game Freak's investment into this open world design and give us great proof of that concept. So, speaking of that open world approach going forward, do you feel like this is a design philosophy worth sticking with? Or, to put it another way, do you like the direction the new games are going, or do you miss the linearity of games' past? Starting with you again, Salt.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it would be such a step back if they were like, next Pokemon game, not open world. They like set the bar with this game. I feel like all they can do now is just expand on it. So I think it would just be a little jarring if they suddenly switched back, unless if they wanted to like do like a reboot of like an old game and kind of like if they ever do the Black and White remakes, I don't see them making it open world. I think they will leave it as they are. I just hope we don't look like chibis, but that's just a personal thing.
I'm glad I'm
Didn't
not
like
the only
videos
one
be
that
that
didn't like
much.
that.
Wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the open world just adds so much. Like it honestly makes me feel like when I was a kid watching like the anime, it feels like I'm in the world. It feels more immersive. Like you get to like see the Pokemon up close. Like you like You can like have your Pokemon follow you doing the Let's Go feature. Like with camp, you can wash them, and it honestly kind of feels like Nintendogs, and it's the cutest thing ever. It is. It's the same thing. You like scrub them, they're studs, and then you rinse them. I think Nintendogs was the exact same.
I think we need a Nintendogs HD now.
We do. Nintendo, please. Where's our Nintendogs? We're waiting.
Come on.
They'll sell. I'll buy them. I promise.
Yeah. Get Reggie on speed dial. 1 second.
Yes.
So, do you feel like the open world design is better by comparison? Or do you have just like, you kind of like where they're going and you like both?
No, I like where they're going. Like, if I want like the 2D experience, I'll just go back and play the 2D games. But
That's
like, I don't.
think.
I think that's it. Like, if you like just play the old games.
Just play it, forehead.
Yeah. No, but like sometimes you're in the mood. You're just like, I want to play that like game that I like played when I was in the 3rd grade, just to like have it, like just to feel some things. I always get those moods. I always have that with the Super Mario Sunshine. Like I'm like, it's summer. I'm like, I gotta play Sunshine.
What's your comfort Pokemon game? One that you're thinking of?
Oh, comfort. Oh, that's hard. Maybe Fire Red Leaf
open.
Green or Heart Gold Soul Silver. Those are like my go-to.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know the 2 remakes.
Yeah, Soul Silver is like a fine wine, though. That might be like considered by the community the best Pokemon game. So that's a good choice, I think.
They used to be mine, but I feel like it's changing now. Or Black 2, White 2. Those were also really good.
I like it. I like these answers. Okay, I'm gonna ask everyone this now. I'm very curious. Amanda, what do you think of this game's direction going forward? Do you like the open world? Do you hate it?
I love
What's
the
your
open
comfort
world
game?
because it's kind of like Breath of the Wild, where you can play and not really accomplish anything story-wise, but still feel like you've done something. Like you can explore and, pick up items. You can explore and just catch just random Pokemon that are around. Maybe you'll come across a shiny. Maybe you're just don't really know where you want to go yet, so you're just going to go walk around until you find something exciting. And I just remember seeing like the actual Pokemon like walking around for the first time, like back when it was like Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, and I just started crying because it's like I started playing Pokemon with Pokemon Blue back when I was 13, and so just to like see it come to life, so to speak, was just the most amazing thing. And so I love being able to still see them out in the field instead of just walking in what appears to be knee-high grass, and then a giant Pokemon twice your size mysteriously shows up.
Right. What? Wow. I've never heard someone say that they cried during.
I did. I got so excited just seeing everything, and I started crying during the trailer.
That makes me so happy, because when those games came out, I loved them, and then I go on Twitter and everyone's like, "These games suck! Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Shut up, Jesse! The Team Rocket's in here, and what do you want? Jesus!" And then I logged off, and then I played and enjoyed it.
Yeah, I full on ugly cried.
That's good. That's good. Sam, what about you? Do you like the direction the game's going in?
Yeah, I think open world is the way to go and the way of the future for Pokemon. But I will say, I think they have a long way to go before they kind of figure out perfection with how the Pokemon formula works with open world. In particular, I don't think they've completely struck the perfect balance between go wherever you want, but also like there's a path we would like you to take, but we're not going to tell you which path is the optimal path. I for one went the wrong way, in terms of
quote unquote.
Where they would have kind of wanted to guide people to go. So I ended up in a kind of over-leveled area before, and got like pretty far before I realized maybe this isn't where I'm supposed to be going. And I fought. I've done 3 of the Titans, and I did them out of order. I figured out just today when I was talking to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, you did that one first?" It's like, yeah. Oh. So I think I would like to see in the future continuing open world, but with either a more defined, like, do whatever you want, but like most people do it in this way, or have it with scaled leveling so that you can do whatever you want and it's kind of an even challenge across the board. I kind of prefer not having the scaled leveling, but I think one or the other, something's got to give because it's a little confusing as it is right now.
So by saying you prefer not having scaled leveling, what you mean to say is you like having your butt kicked?
Yeah, like I like having that option because if it's all scaled, then you don't have that option. You can't like jump ahead to somebody who's more challenging or an area that's more challenging. And that's what why I didn't want that scaling, and I stand by that. But what I don't like is that it's not obvious to me, at least, where they would like what path they would like you to go if you want to go the way that they have in their mind.
Okay. All right. I like it. We actually talked about this like in podcast past, and I think you said the same thing then too.
Yeah, I think
it's funny because like everyone else said the opposite. Like, is it going to be scaled leveling? That'd be so cool. And then here comes Sam, like, that actually wouldn't be cool. Now that I think about it.
I like the idea of not having scaled leveling, and I stand by that because I want to have the option to skip the easy gym leader and go to a harder gym leader, to go whatever order I want. But if you have scaled leveling, then the order is so undefined that you can't challenge yourself in that way. So
yeah, I mean, we've been playing for like 25 plus years now. Come on, turn up the difficulty a little bit. Jeez, Game Freak.
But like at this point, if they were to take away open world, if they were to go any more linear than it is, I don't think it would be appealing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What's your comfort game? Comfort Pokemon game.
Definitely Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Ooh, why?
Gold and Silver were my favorites, my favorite generation, and then Heart Gold, Soul Silver came out like during one of the few periods of my life where I had like an excess of time and a lack of responsibilities. So I played the ever-loving bejesus out of those games.
The ever-loving bejesus. Okay. I like it. There's a lot of Heart Gold, Soul Silver in this conversation so far. All right. Austin, what do you think? Do you like where the games are going? What's your comfort game?
All right.
I want to know all of it.
I don't know. I can't really imagine Pokemon going back to not being open world after this. They started testing it with the wild area, expanded upon that a little bit in the DLC, and then, Legends was what it was, and now we're here. And I feel like it would feel weird to go back and not have this open world game, because it's like, the point of Pokemon are like what, the saying is, it's like, you want to catch them all, you got to explore, be the very best. And it does feel a little bit weird doing that when it's like, hey, go here, now you got to go here, now you got to go here. And so to have that option of like going wherever you want and trying to figure it out your way, I think that's really good. And to kind of, talk about the level scaling thing that you had mentioned a little bit ago, I kind of agree with the whole no level scale thing, because if you think about it, let's say in older games it was level scaled and you go to fight Cynthia and she's level 5, right? Obviously that wouldn't, she's a champion, but let's say that was the case. So you take like a really strong trainer and you level scale them down. That like kind of takes like the coolness of that character away. And so I think it is nice to have like, oh, this character is really strong no matter where you're at in the game. And yeah, so I think, first gym leader, gonna be a little bit weak, but then once you get to the last one, it's like everyone's like, oh, this gym leader is so cool. They got really strong Pokemon, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's really cool. I don't know. I can't really see them going back to not open world unless it is like, like a remake, but I don't know. I want to see more Let's Go remakes. I would rather have that, I think, than a regular remake. Mm-hmm. But because I'm waiting for Let's Go Johto. I don't think it's coming, but I want it though. I want it. But yeah, I think that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. I think because Johto's like such a good region, and I don't know. Heart Gold Soul Silver is good, but I don't know. But my comfort game, I think, is probably Emerald. I think it's Emerald.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'd love to hear it. Woo! I'm the only one clapping because I love that game too. But yes, I was not expecting anyone else to say that.
Well, my first game was Sapphire, so Emerald just kind of made it a little better.
Ooh, your first game was Sapphire? Wow. You just didn't have an interest in Pokemon before?
Too young.
Too young?
Just a baby.
Yeah, just a baby.
Just a baby. All right, interesting. Oh, well, going from so baby to this old man over here, GalacticElliot.
Hello.
What do you think? What do you think of the game's direction so far? Do you like the open world thing? Do you miss the linearity? What's your favorite comfort game? Let's hear it. Round us out.
So, I'm not really much of an open world person, honestly, whenever it comes to video games. I've never really liked them. So that's a very unpopular thing of mine. But I'm liking where they're going with Pokemon. And, I think this game did a really good job with it, but it definitely has a lot more that they can do. Sam, brought up a lot of good points that I definitely agree with. I was personally pretty disappointed that there wasn't level scaling. I'm not gonna lie. I love the idea of this person will have this set team if you have 2 badges. This person will have this set team if they have 8 badges. But at the same time, I understand where this gym leader is supposed to be the strong one. This gym leader is supposed to be the starter one. So it's I get it. But I think of the anime and how people can go from whatever gyms they want to another whatever gym they want. And I always love the idea of this person having a team set for, oh, you have this amount of badges. Okay, I'll give you this team, and vice versa. At the end of the day, though, I think they did a really good job, and I think the whole idea of you can go somewhere by accident and find level 70s, and then go to another area and find level 2s. I think that's cool. I don't know. I played Xenoblade one time, and I went the wrong way, and I went against this thing, and just absolutely annihilated my life. So that was fun. I was 10 minutes into the game, and I was just oh boy. So I'm in danger. But
wrap it up, bud. I'm never playing this again.
So that it was funny though, and I like that. So I like that Pokemon kind of did that, and I think that I was disappointed at first whenever I heard about no level scaling, but then I played the game, and I'm oh. Maybe I don't mind it. So that was a really good surprise for me, and I was really happy about that. As far as the comments about Let's Go Johto, I absolutely I dislike Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Wow.
I think
Elliot.
that they are the best looking Pokemon games in the main series.
Yeah, that's true.
The colors pop. It looks beautiful, and I like that they added a lot of quality of life things that they've kept around. Unlike mass release, Pokemon, please give us mass release options. I do Masuda X. Please let me release more than one Pokemon at a time. Please, I beg of you. Please.
I have 1,000 play Coco, man. Come on.
But to expand on that, I would love another Legends game instead of a Let's Go game for remakes in the future. I love the fact that they gave you lore for Sinnoh.
Yeah.
And the one that I want next so badly. Either of these 3 things, three different ideas.
Okay.
Give me Legends of Zygarde, where they show off the 3,000-year war. That'd be really cool because you have the whole entire war of Pokemon that we hear about and how.
Oh, that would be so
love that.
cool.
Oh my gosh,
that would be great because I am so sad that X and Y didn't get another game. Yeah, it's the only gen that has one game. It's X and Y. Okay, that's it. We're done.
Yeah, where was the Z? Where was
there was no
Z in the anime,
X2,
so why not
Y2,
the game?
Yeah, the anime was goated. They did such a good job with Zygarde's story, and then instead they just threw him in a cave and said, "Hey, it's post game, and there's nothing to know about this guy, but he's there." So yeah,
I cry.
Pokemon War and Pokemon Legends Zygarde would be amazing, or Legends Kyurem, where you see the original dragon that was never disbanded and how it maybe disbands. We don't know how it looked like whenever it was Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem.
I want to see it so bad.
So that'd be pretty cool. That'd be amazing. Or Pokemon Legends Ho-Oh, where you have the Burn Tower and all the story around that, because there's so much more, and how the legendary beasts were created, because they were created through that whole entire thing. But how are they? What happened? Etc. So a Legends game for those 3 in particular would be incredible, because I think Legends Arceus was so much fun, and I love the style of it. It was so dreary and dark and different, and you got isekai'd into this world as this person that wasn't supposed to be a part of this world, and you kind of became the hero, and it's that's such a different setting than just you being a 10-year-old and just starting your journey. This person was literally just yeeted into the world and whatever. So not to go on too much of a tangent, but I heard the Let's Go thing and the remakes, and I think they should continue with open world stuff, but I think that they should make Legends games in the future too, where it's maybe a little bit more linear but not too linear, maybe a little bit just more linear than the games that we've been getting, or I should say Gen 9.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That game's story was actually really dark, right? Because at one point, I think her name is Silene?
Yeah, Silene, yeah.
Doesn't she just straight up say like if you go out there you'll die?
Yeah,
or
something
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
because
I think she straight up says
She
the word
does.
die,
Because
and I'm like,
yeah,
what?
because they are all like Pokemon and people are not supposed to meddle, and if you do meddle with them, then people will look upon you weirdly and frown upon you and be like, you're not welcome here. And at one point they banished you because they thought that you were the one that like caused these things to have happen and people were getting in danger and stuff. And it's like
Yeah.
that was wild. I was like, whoa. So like Legends of Arceus really gave that like different aspect, and I would love to see that with other games too, where we learn about this lore, we learn about the stories, the ancestry, and just a darker version of Pokemon that I think as adults we all kind of would love to see more of, because Pokemon is definitely not like the brightest of games ever, but I love to see the dark stuff too. I think it's cool. As far as my I guess like comfort games. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. You can go ahead. I was gonna say I'm stupid.
There you go. Yeah, my comfort.
I'm gonna be honest.
My comfort games. So me for myself, I would say Pokemon Crystal, which is my favorite Pokemon game. I can go back to that game
Ooh.
at any point, and for some reason, I'll just have a better time than the last time I played it. I don't know. It's so nostalgic for me. I know a lot of people don't like
Wow.
Gen 2, but I love Gen 2. And then as far as one of my other comfort games, I'd say Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, because you can do just so much in that game. All the shiny hunting methods and all the new megas that they brought in, and just all of the
Okay.
quality of life things. And it's the game I put the most hours into in my whole entire life. It's the only game where I maxed out the hours at 99959. So, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a maximum for that.
Yeah, I maxed out the hours in that game. It definitely had more than just 1,000 hours. Like,
What the? 99959. It doesn't go. That's a very specific number. You
yeah,
would
it's
think
like
it would go to 999 at
999
least.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I think that kind of seals the deal on that one. Elliot's favorite games are Crystal and Oras. Very nice. Well, I have some things to say about what you said, but I'm going to bring them up later on in my point, because personally, in regards to this open world concept, right? I think it can only get better with time, right? We saw it first in the wild area, right, with Sword and Shield, and it's rather, small little playful chunks on the map, like on the way to this next city, like, ooh, there's a little den over here.
Little
There's like
baby.
a bottle of water. It's so baby, right? And in those wild areas, there was only so much to do. And once you make it to post game, most of your time was taken up by raiding the 1 or 2 dens in any given area, at least in my experience. After that, we got the regions, right, of Legends Arceus, which were definitely bigger areas by comparison to Sword and Shield, but to me felt a little bit lacking in terms of things you can actually do, because it just kind of felt like, the first area is a good example, right? It's this big sprawling world, and the first impression you get is like, oh my god, this is like Breath of the Wild. But in reality, there's like, little colonies of certain Pokemon spread out between like little sections of it, and then most of the rest of it is just like terrain, and that's kind of it. But it's fine. It felt a little bit more segmented than I would have liked, but there's also other things that kind of mar the experience too, by being separated by loading screens and having to return to the town every time you wanted to go to a different part of the map, and it just did not feel quite as cohesive as I wanted it to be. But now we have Paldea, which feels like a far more complete version of that initial vision that Game Freak likely had back in 2018. And the map feels so much more expansive. There's tons to do. There's trainers to fight, Pokemon to see, and I think you get the idea. There's also a lot more cities. So, am I comfortable with them pushing forward with this approach for the foreseeable future? Yeah, I think I am. There are moments where I do miss the linearity of games like Emerald or even Pokemon Let's Go, but the fact remains that the games we're getting these days are only getting better by the entry. And as far as my comfort game goes, I think I gave it away pretty clearly whenever Austin brought up his, but you guys want to hear something real quick? Oh, I have this on my desk, like at any given moment whenever I feel like doing this. Okay, hold on. I don't know if my mic will pick it up. Tell me if it does.
There you go. That's the one.
So Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's my Pokemon Crystal right there, baby. No, I have my Game Boy SP loaded with an Emerald cartridge anytime I want to play, because it happens pretty often. So that's my comfort game. But anyways, I think that brings us to the end. But before we go, now that we're on the subject and everything, I wanted to ask, because I'm very, very curious. I look at my friends list, and I'm curious if it's the same for everybody. Which version of this game do you guys feel like is the more popular one? Scarlet or Violet?
Good question.
I wish there was a way we could get numbers, because I really don't know. First, I was like, "Oh, everyone's going Violet." Then I swear I saw like a large portion of
on
at
my
least
friends list
the
on the
people
Switch
I know
right now, it appears to
decided
be
to go
Violet.
Scarlet.
There's only 3 people playing Scarlet. No. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I now realize that it, I realize that it like groups them together, so no, I lied to you. But it still does seem like Violet is a bit more popular. Just a little tiny bit, though.
Oh, okay. So, just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at
I
on
didn't
mine,
know you could
I just
look at
posted
that.
a screenshot in the
Yeah.
podcast chat.
Oh,
but
nice.
It
Yeah.
is like way more than twice the
Yeah.
amount of Scarlet and Violet, and I
Yeah,
was curious
here-
if
here
anybody
I'm
else
on
had the same.
I got
Look.
64 Violet
looking
and
right
48
now.
Scarlet.
I-
So yeah,
On
Violet's
theirs?
more popular on mine.
I need to check mine.
Really? All right, I'm curious to hear everyone's answers here.
I'm looking. Hold on. I want to
I
know.
think what I've seen from my chat, like more people like have picked Violet.
Mine
Those are
is
what
like
I've seen.
almost
I-
half and half. It says 33 for
Mine
Violet,
too.
31 for Scarlet.
Oh, wow.
My Scarlet is
wow.
winning, so it wasn't in my head. It wasn't in my head. I knew, like, I swear, in my
Oh, actually, mine's pretty even.
mine's 41 Scarlet, 38 Violet.
I have the same exact number.
We have all the same friends.
We do.
Mine
That is
are
crazy.
Mine are
Wow.
120 in Violet,
Wow.
76 Scarlet. So almost 50 more.
Oh,
in Violet than mine.
wow. So
Oh my
Violet seems
God.
like the more popular one.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think the
purple's
a
outfits
good
are
color.
nicer.
So
Okay, well,
I
why do
guess
you
the-
think that is?
I figured it's
Maybe
because
it's the
people like
outfits.
sparkly, like futuristic stuff, and they're lusting over
yeah, I
the
was gonna say
professor.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
the professor.
I mean, yeah.
Turo, hey, what's up?
So my reasoning for going Violet is because I love purple and it's my color scheme for my channel, but I like Scarlet more for like everything else. It's so funny. Like if it weren't for like my color scheme being purple, I'd probably go Scarlet because I think that's why a lot of people actually want Scarlet after learning about what Pokemon are in the game because they just like what they saw in Scarlet more. But Violet definitely seems to be the more popular one. But I guess it depends, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. My first instinct when I saw my friends list was that I don't know if the legendaries have anything to do with it. Because I remember we were watching this trailer, right, whenever it went live, whenever we were watching on Twitch with my community, and we all saw the Scarlet one just running despite the fact it has a giant wheel on his chest, and we were like, what is that? Dude, what is he running? It's like a big goofy Flintstones dragon thing. What is that even? So I'm wondering...
I kind of like that he runs
How many
instead of
people were
has
swayed
wheels.
based off of
It makes
just
him
that?
goofy. It makes him goofy,
right?
and I don't know.
I mean,
I love it so much. He's amazing. He's toothless. I love him.
I don't hate it, but at the same time, I think Miraidon is just cooler in general, which is obviously just an opinion, but...
I love Crado with all my heart and soul. I would literally pet him.
No, I
and
love
him.
me right on. I just love the colors on it, and it just looks so cool.
Yeah, I like all the
Yeah, I
purples and
agree.
blues.
Yeah.
And...
Yeah, I'm biased. Purple's my favorite color, so that's why I went for
And
it.
it's got like
Purple's
a
my favorite too.
pretty
Yeah.
pastel yellow
Like
streak in it. It's just cool.
Oh,
all
the
around.
yellow, it makes it pop. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so good.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to I just wanted to run that by you guys and see if you had some similar, vibe going on. But it seems like mileage may vary.
Mhm.
So I thought it was really just going to be universal because mine is so just way obviously more popular. But
But
I mean,
I
you
am
have even friends
curious
lists.
if we could see the data. We can't, but if we could see the data of like not our friends list, which are all like
Yeah.
Pokemon and Nintendo and content creators and big fans and things like that, I would love to know, like among children or among families or siblings, like which is the one that people are going for. I bet it's Violet,
Yeah.
but I wish we could see that somehow.
they never release that kind of data, huh?
They should.
They really should.
Interesting.
It's like,
Yeah, usually
now
they
that I'm
lump
on
them
this rabbit hole-
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darn. I guess some dude in Japan, whoever does the, analytics for sales for Game Freak, is the only one that'll ever know.
Yeah, someone out there
guess so.
knows.
Someone knows. Someone's got the secret text. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me today for this month's episode.
thanks for having me.
I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to make sure that this podcast is run on a monthly basis and gets updated regularly over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That way you can listen to these discussions in whichever way you prefer. Anyways, we're pretty much at the end here, but before we go, I wanted to take a second, go around the table one last time, and give each of you 5 seconds to tell us about yourself and where our listeners can find you on the internet. Once more, starting with you, Elliot.
You can find me over on Twitch at GalacticElliot. Actually, it's pretty much GalacticElliot everywhere. I use Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Do lots of Pokemon, shiny hunting, challenges. Just love being so interactive, and I think all of us are the same way, just with our communities. And hey, if anyone ever wants to come by and hang out, well, I'd love to see you, but no pressure.
No pressure, he says. Maybe there should be pressure though, because you get that last Flake Cocoa is going to be that much more satisfying. Yeah, you're 1,000 plus in at this point, right? Oh my god! Oh my god! I forgot we're dealing with I forgot that we're dealing with streamers, and we all have cool voice effects on our soundboard.
The voices.
I need to get that. I just have a USB mic. I can't.
I have it. I just don't know how to set it up.
Okay. Maybe one of these days I could show you, Amanda, because it's very, very worth it. What about you, Austin? 5 seconds. Go.
Twitch.tv/GLOWL. And on everywhere else, it's at It's GLOWL until I can get the GLOWL. But yeah, Twitch.tv/GLOWL. Pokemon stuff. That's 5 seconds. There you go.
You mean to tell me there's an imposter out there stealing your username?
Well, no, listen. There's a My Singing Monsters character called GLOWL, and I don't want to talk about it, but it does exist. And I had the name first, but not important.
There's
anyway.
a what? Wait, run that by me again.
There's a mobile game called My Singing Monsters, right? And there's a little firebird called GLOWL. But I had the YouTube name in 2012, and I'm pretty sure that predates the game. They're the character in the game, so I'm just saying.
How popular is this game?
I don't know. I can't imagine it's too popular, but it exists, and yeah.
I'll look it up.
It does exist.
Oh my god,
though.
I googled it. What the heck is this thing?
I don't know.
This looks like a YouTube ad for some fake mobile game.
So
sorry if the developers are listening right now.
So if you want to find me, twitch.tv/GLOWL.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What about you, Sam?
I can be found as Nintendo Fangirl on almost everything except NinFangirl on Twitch because my username was also taken.
Is there a mobile game that
No
has a Nintendo
mobile
Fangirl?
game. Just somebody who decided they wanted to be a Nintendo Fangirl. And I haven't started streaming Pokemon yet, but that'll be happening on Twitch, so.
What do you say that
Can't
you're
wait
the
to see it.
biggest Nintendo fangirl out there?
Maybe.
You've got to be,
I
right?
don't. The
pressure's
the
there
one
now.
that's had this username for the longest. I know that's true.
I remember seeing you on YouTube like way back in the day.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I
like,
got the
yeah.
username almost everywhere, and I had it on
I remember
Twitch
like
at one
seeing
point,
you
but-
on YouTube like 2000, like I think 9. So you've been around for a good.
Oh my
minute.
God,
My-
Elliot! All right,
I'm
calm
an
down.
old
She's
man
not that
too.
old, man. Come on.
My YouTube, the start date is 2006 on my YouTube channel. So
Sheesh. Dang. Okay, definitely the longest running
I'm
Nintendo
old.
fangirl there is. I would say.
there
Good.
you go.
Very good. All right, Amanda, what about you? 5 seconds. Let's hear it.
You can find me on Twitch at Panda Princessa, and then you can also find me on Zelda Universe TV's YouTube page. Well, the YouTube page is Zelda Universe TV, hosting Zelda Weekly, either every week or every other week, depending on how much Zelda stuff is happening that week.
Fantastic. Are you? Oh, bonus question. Are you going to be streaming Pokemon anytime soon?
I was streaming it on, what day was it? Friday. Yesterday, I was out of town at a wedding, and so I've just pretty much been sleeping all day today.
I like it. All right. It's a lazy Sunday. I like it. And Salt, to be honest, I've been saying 5 seconds for everyone, but obviously that's been pretty lenient. So you just, where can we find you? Just take however long you want.
Okay. So
10
you
minutes.
can find me 10. Okay, we'll be here for 10 minutes. Got you.
Let me prepare my essay.
I'll go through my biography. So you can find me at twitch.tv/SaltQueen. I stream a lot of Pokemon shiny hunting. We're later going to do some BGC, maybe some speed runs. I'm also playing through every single 3D Zelda game in preparation for Tears of the Kingdom. And I've only played one 3D Zelda, so they're all completely new. Yeah, I know I'm weird. I'm weird.
that's so exciting.
I've only
You get
played
to do
Wind
it for the
Waker.
first
Please
time.
don't
That's
yell
so
at
cool.
me.
But you played Wind Waker. Wind Waker's great. It's
Wind
fine.
Waker's the best one.
Wind
at
Waker
least.
No,
is
it's
Yeah,
the best
we're
one.
one of
It's
the
my
best.
favorite.
Yeah.
It's the only one I've played, but I'm playing through all the other ones.
It's a good
I'm
one.
the same way.
I'm
the
so
same
jealous
way.
you're getting to experience all the Zelda games for the first time. That's so cool.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I
I
really
recently
only played
did
Wind Waker.
Ocarina, and it was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
You've never played Ocarina? That was your first?
Like a month ago. Like,
Dude.
yeah, it was the first playthrough. It
Are
was
you streaming all of these?
Yeah, I streamed it. I beat
Oh
Ganon
my
with like
God.
Deku Nuts, I think. I didn't know what to do, so I was just like I threw Deku Nuts and it worked. I was like, oh, it's working. Okay, he died. Cool.
Oh my
if
god.
it
Is there a clip of that somewhere?
I think so. I'll have to find
Okay.
it.
Yeah, you'll have to put it in chat.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to see that. Are you going to be playing Twilight? Tell me when you're playing Twilight Princess. That's my favorite
okay.
one.
Majora's Mask is the next one I got right now, so I'll let you
Okay.
know.
I will be there 24/7 when Twilight Princess is on screen. I love that game. Me and Sam go at it all the time about which one's the best. It's clearly Twilight
It's Wind
Princess.
Waker, but it's okay.
I allow
res-
you to say Wind
I
Waker. out loud.
respect your opinions, but it's wrong.
All right, and with that concludes our discussion. So, once again, if you're still watching or listening, thank you for making it this far, and I look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts in the comments below, or in Discord, or in Twitch stream. You guys give me your thoughts all over the place, to be honest, and we'll be back next month for some more discussion. But for now, there's only one thing left to say before we take off, and that is, of course, as always, I'm alecandstuff. Thank you guys for being on the table, and I will see you all again real soon, okay? All right, bye-bye!
Bye bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
See you later.
ya.
Deuces. Peace.